Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of EVs. They're boring, not as exciting, not fast. But this week I picked one car that I really think could be my daily. The BMW i4 M50. So let's talk about why I love this thing. First, let's start with the exterior. It looks like a BMW from the front end to the rear end. And most importantly, the new i40 M50 is purely electric performance model that it's made from the BMW M division. That doesn't mean that this is an M3 competitor. It's far from that, actually. This is the alternative, in my opinion, to the M340i, the 3 Series, or the M440i Grand Touring. What's important is that this is not just another futuristic, cartoonish EV, but rather a proper BMW. So let's talk about the front end. First of all, the BMW iX, you can't open the hood, but you can in this one. Usually in the iX, you have the logo at the front where it pops out. Then you have, of course, the door for the windshield reservoir. Then we'll move on to the grille. It has the M badge located at the front. Yet, even though it looks like a BMW at the front, it's not very similar to the M3, which again, I think BMW is saving their time for another competitor to this, which could be at the same M3 level. Then we talk about the actual BMW laser light located on the headlight over here. Then we have the massive front bumper here with the M Performance design. Then we'll move on to the side where we have the M mirrors. Now, these are the same mirrors that you're going to see in the facelift 3 Series, like the M340i. Then on the side, we have the M badge, the wheels as well. These are the 19-inch wheels, so you can get 20-inch as well. We have the brakes, which are from the M option that you can pick online. Then we'll on to the rear end where we have the M Performance diffuser at the bottom. This doesn't have any exhaust because it's technically a full electric vehicle, but they still have left some of those design cues that you'd find in the M Performance package vehicles. BMW says that this 5,000 pounds curb weight i4 M50 will do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds or 0 to 100 in about 3.8, 3.9. Well, I call that a load of. Here's why. Okay, here we go. Let's do Sport Boost. I'm gonna adjust my seat here. And then traction all the way off. You wanna activate it anyway? Absolutely. All the way in, okay. We can do this. Into drive, launch activated. Oh! 100 kilometers, 130, 150, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210. I'm running out of runway. I'm running out of runway. I'm running out of runway. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Brake, 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 brake. All the way to the end. Oh. Whew. My goodness. I'm literally 2 meters away from the end of the runway. This is like 220, I think, or 230. Wow, this thing is quick. I've driven this for about a week and I can tell you that it doesn't feel that slow. In fact, Car and Driver did a few tests on this thing and it proved to do 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. Yes, this 5,000 pounds machine can do 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. That is quite impressive in my opinion. And here's the other interesting part is that it's actually slightly faster than the BMW M3 competition. Underneath, this M50 is powered by a high voltage battery comprised of 4 modules with 72 cells. And it has 3 12-cell modules. Together they provide a net energy of 83.9 kilowatts an hour. The BMW i4 eDrive 40 delivers an EPA range of 301 miles or 475 kilometers. And of course, when it's equipped with the 18-inch wheels, and 282 miles when it's equipped with the 19-inch wheels. The i4 M50, which is the one that we have for today's video, has a range of 270 miles or 385 kilometers when it's equipped with 19-inch wheels, but it drops to 227 miles when it's equipped with the 20-inch wheels. The one that we have for today's video actually has 19-inch wheels, which gives you a bit more range. Now let's talk about the motors. It develops 255 brake horsepower in the front motor, since it is a dual motor, and 308 brake horsepower for the rear motor. When both are giving their all, the i40 M50 has a combined output of 469 brake horsepower and 538 pound-feet of torque. The beautiful thing is that if you put in Sport Boost, it increases the horsepower by 67, that goes up to 536 brake horsepower. You can do fast charging from 10% to 80% in about 30 minutes.
Let's talk about the i4 in terms of the driving. It uses adaptive suspension system from the M division, which means that the actual suspension ride changes based on the driving mode, and I believe it has the air ride at the back so that the car is kind of lifted a little bit, which I'm not a big fan of it, but it's also the way this thing is designed. That's the positive thing about the suspension system in this thing, is that it actually feels like a normal BMW when you're driving it, and half of the time you don't realize that this thing is actually electric unless you know it. When I'm driving it, most of the time I think it's just another 3, 4 or 4 Series in this case, and it has a better center of gravity in comparison to a normal 3 Series because of that battery. Yes, it weighs 5,000 pounds, which is pretty heavy, but because the battery in the center, as we know, gives that weight. It is an xDrive, but it behaves more like a rear-wheel drive than an xDrive. I like how it drives. It's comfortable, it's quiet on the inside. When you put it in Sport Boost, it gives that engine sounds, that M-specific engine sound, which this doesn't have an engine, but it gives that kind of, it's different. It doesn't sound like an actual car, but and that's what it does. You press on it and it has that sound. And the beautiful thing is that it actually does it as you're slowing down, not just when you push it. So you go fast and you release the pedal, or you want to slow down, and it goes brrr. So there is that fade at the end as well, so it makes it more natural. But it doesn't annoy me. At the beginning I thought it was going to annoy me, but then it just becomes part of the car, and that's what I love about this. In terms of the range, yes, you don't have the best range in this car, specifically if you get the 20-inch wheels. This has the 19-inch wheels, which it's okay. But one thing I have to say though, when you have it in comfort or eco mode, for example, the car is very conservative. You think that you're burning, or actually you're using a lot of range. I was going to say burning fuel, but using a lot of range, but it doesn't actually do that. It's very conservative. And one thing I love about the range itself in comparison to other EVs is that most EVs have a very good range at the beginning and it starts dropping very fast. This is the opposite. It drops slowly. So it doesn't make you think that you have a lot of range, but at the same time, you don't get anxiety out of the range. It's like, oh my God, it's just dropping. This, it goes all the way through. So for example, I left the house with 350, 360 kilometers, which would be under 220 miles or so. And now I have 250 kilometers. I've used it, I've driven all day pretty much, and I still have range to get me back home, so I don't have to actually charge it. And that's one thing I love about this, is that it's very conservative if you know how to drive it. If you're not hitting the pedal as hard, if you don't have a heavy foot, this thing will do very well in terms of the range. Let's talk about the competition. The biggest competitor right now to this one will be the Tesla Model 3 Performance all-wheel drive, because this is the i4 M50. That gives you better range. I think it's over 500 kilometers, which is, you know, a disadvantage to this. That also gives you superchargers everywhere. But the quality of this car is far better than the Tesla. Interior-wise, driving experience, everything else feels far better. I love the fact that you still have buttons, unlike the Tesla where you don't have any of that, because Elon decided they had to cut down on price, the cost actually. In this case, it's more premium, feels better on the interior, it's much more quiet, it's comfortable, great driving dynamics. It really drives like a BMW M should. And that even makes it even more special. So let's talk about the pricing, because that's another thing that I love about this. In Canada, this starts at about $72,900, so about $73,000, which is actually not bad. The one that we have for today's video, you're looking at about $84,000, but this has a few things added. The Portimao paint color on the outside, it has the seat belts with the M logo, it has leather interior, massive screen, 360 camera, a lot of added features, the 19-inch wheels as well. It has the carbon fiber interior, which of course is added cost. If you want to see exactly what this thing comes with, I will paste all the items into the description below, so you'll see the breakdown exactly. That is a very good price. $84,000 for this, that is 0.2 seconds faster than the M3 competition. I know it's not the same as an M3, doesn't sound the same and so on, but that is very, very impressive. And in terms of the Tesla competition, in terms of the pricing, well, this actually is cheaper than the Tesla. In Canada, the Tesla starts at about $83,000, $84,000. This starts at $72,000. Yes, you have the self-driving mode and the charging, but the quality of this car beats the Tesla by a mile. There's no question. The way it looks, and that's the other thing, it looks like a BMW. I have to say, this is probably the only EV I would buy right now, as we're talking in 2022. After driving so many EVs, BMW has my money on this. If I was looking for an EV, this would be it.